Hey, what's up? This is Matt Dietz, and this is Agency Launch. This is the show where I talk about what it's like to run an insurance agency. I talk about staffing and customer service and marketing and sales. And if you can do those four things well, you'll be successful. All right, so in order to help you do one of those things well, we are in an interesting market right now, and they are encouraging agents to pivot and look at other types of coverage to sell. So if you text me 208-213-8809, I have a free resource to help you get your foot in the door to writing commercial insurance. I didn't write commercial for like 2 years. I wish I started sooner, but now I do it really well. So I'm going to tell you what you need to know to get your foot in the door with commercial. So text me commercial to 208-213-8809. All right, on with the show. Are you dying for something to be easy? Does everything seem just that much harder these days? You know, do you hate Accord forms every time you want to apply for something? I've got something to make your life a little bit easier. I want to introduce you to Brightco. Brightco is an online jewelry insurance company that has made buying insurance for your jewelry so easy. You can get a quote in like 2 minutes. You answer 6 questions. You can do the quote. You can bind it. You're going to be done before you even know that you started. Brightco will manage all payments, claims, reporting, and commissions all on this slick portal. And in a world where our tech feels clunky and lethargic, it is a breath of fresh air to have something modern at our fingertips that make our lives easier and our customers' lives easier. So go to bright.co/Matt Dietz. That's brite.co/MATTDIETZ to learn more, and go right to that site to get appointed. Let's go. All right. So today I wanted to talk about working with your team and helping maybe motivate them and talking numbers with them. Okay. So I was working with a agent that I'm coaching, and he's onboarding some new people, and he's got a good team, and they're setting goals for next year. And I wanted to, so we were talking about that. Something that I would encourage you to do if you have team members is to open up your numbers to them from an agency standpoint. So if you've got producers or people that are responsible for putting policies on the books, they should obviously have their own goals, right? Whether that's premium goals or policy goals, they have their own goals, okay? If you've got producers and employees that you think are going to stick, like they're good and you want to keep them and they're going to be with you for a while, there's another phase that you can kind of open up to them, and that is showing them some of the nuts and bolts of the entire business. And I've always loved doing this, and I think it adds a lot to the experience that you have with your team. Okay, so it's easy to sit down and be like, hey, check it out. Here are your goals. Here are your numbers. Here's what you did last month. Here you are year to date. Here we are you're on pace. You're not on pace, blah, blah, blah. But your agency has goals too. Okay. And their goals are a part of a larger goal. And so I think it's important to share the entire goal with your team. We can run all kinds of reports, and I'm sure you can too. And I would start with, we track policy. It doesn't matter, premium or policies, right? Policies were easy because we've got policy reports, daily policy reports, monthly policy reports. And so what I would do with my employees is at the end of the month, I'd run and you could do home and auto. If you're doing P&C, you can do home and auto. So I'd run a home policy report for new business and an auto policy report for new business. And I would usually run it by month. So my reports would show how many policies we wrote per month, year to date. So you have January, February, March, April, blah, 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 all the way however far you are into the year. And then I would do the same with last year. So I'd be like, all right, so year to date last year, we were at, let's say it's June. And so last year we were at 300 autos, last year to date. this year we're at 350. So we're writing more. That's good. Anyway, the numbers tell a story. Okay. And it's important for them to see how they fit into the machine, I think. Okay. And you measure it up against, so we're at 350. We want to get to, 700. So we're on pace. Okay. So run the reports, show it. You can do premium too. It's the same thing. Premium reports, we want to be at, 500,000 in premium for the year. We're at 250. We're on pace. And they can see how their goals, match up with the agency goals. Okay. When you bring on a new employee, I think it's vital to show them these numbers as well. And you can go back as far as you want, 2 or 3 years, and say, look, this is what we've done. And what I want my new employees to feel like is I want them to feel responsibility for changing those numbers for the better. So if you came in and you hired a new employee, you say, look, in the last 12 months, we wrote 600 policies or 600,000 of premium or whatever the number is. That's what we did before you. And I'm really excited to see what you bring to the agency because these numbers are going to be higher with you. What I'd like to see now that you're here, our agency goals have changed. Okay. We want to write 800,000 now, or 700 policies or whatever they are. So that way I would like them to take pride. So at the end of the next year, they sit down and say, look at what we did before you and look at what we did after you got here. Look at what you're contributing to the agency. Okay. And this tool can be used. What if you wrote the same amount of business before them as you did after them? All right. That's a conversation that probably needs to be had, right? Say, look, we're not writing any more business with you here than we were without you. That's a tough conversation to have, but the numbers tell a story. All right. And you've got to have those conversations. You can have these monthly, you can email these reports out. You can sit down, slap them in front. I used to just run like 4 or 5 copies and I'd give everybody a copy and we'd go through it and be like, okay, we're looking at 2023 home. All right. See what we're doing here. Now take a look at what we did last year, 2022 home. Here's what we did last year. So this really, they tell a story. Okay. And what you're trying to identify and what you're hoping is that you've got motivated, competitive people that want you to help you grow your business. They are never going to care as much as you do about your business. Don't be fooled. Okay. But you want them to care to a degree. Okay. So I think it really helps. I think it builds some trust. You're showing them some data that you don't have to show them, but it helps them understand a little bit more about you and your role in running the entire business. Say, look, our business has this goal. And if we hit these goals, these good things will happen and you will benefit from that. You can, obviously fold them into goals. If you have bonuses, that you have monthly bonuses, annual bonuses. Hey, if we write this much life and we write this much commercial and we get this much premium, we're going to get a bonus. And I share that bonus with you guys. So these are things that you should be tracking. Setting your goals and tracking them is so important. You're a rudderless ship if you're not doing this. Okay. And then having full disclosure with your numbers is really important. It builds trust. Hopefully it fuels a fire and it will help you get to where you want to go. And if you're looking at your goals and reporting on them regularly and talking about them regularly, it can only benefit. Sometimes I run reports because I look at the reports. I'm like, oh my God, why are we so low in this line of business? Because you can run premium reports too that show how much premium you're writing per line of business. And if we're off or we're low on a line of business, say workers' comp, and I'll bring it to my producer. And if I'm not happy with it, he's not going to be happy with it. Okay. But he's not going to know unless I show him. So sometimes I'll slap a report in front of Monty and I'll be like, hey man, here's where we are for premium on all of our lines of business. Here's where we were last year to date. And like, if I'm disappointed with a line, he's going to be as well. So I'll slap it down in front of him and I'll watch him. I'm like, all right, wait for it. And he'll be like, what the hell? He's like, why haven't we written any, why are we so low on workers' comp? And I'll be like, well, we haven't written any workers' comp, or whatever it is. And he'll be like, well, God. And then all of a sudden, his focus will shift. And over the next month or two, he'll know where we're low and he will attack it. You want to shine the spotlight on the places that need more attention. Okay. And these are great ways to do it. The numbers do not lie. Okay. You guys know I'm a math freak. I'm a numbers freak. I'm very linear in the way that I think. And like this, there's no disputing these numbers. Okay. There's none. So it's a powerful way to keep chasing your goals and to stay on track. So I would just encourage that you share this information with them, have conversations, stay on target, and write the business you need to be writing. So there you go. My name is Matt. This is Agency Launch. You can find me all over the place. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Send me a text. Don't forget to send me a text, 208-213-8809. If you send me a text that just says commercial, I'll send you a free resource that will help you get your foot in the door and learning how to write commercial, specifically workers' comp. And I've got a great resource for you to help you understand how that product works, how to position yourself, how to quote it, how to be competitive. And so check that out. And also don't forget to check out my master program at agencylaunch.net. Thank you so much for listening. Keep up the good work.